your pen comes with 3 nibs. You have your mixing chamber nib, you have your brush nib, and you have your bullet nib. Now, they're marked on the side. The bullet nib is the one that we tell you that's kind of the workhorse. So you're going to use this for rough areas, like if you're going to be working on fabric, anything that's got bumpiness or texture, because you don't want to be using your super soft brush tip, your Japanese brush tip for that. As Kathy says, you wouldn't paint your house with your finest paint brushes, so you really want to make sure that you use the correct nibs for the correct job. So this is probably the simplest to do, replacing the bullet nib. Again, you can use tweezers you may have at home. I kind of like ours because they're easy to grab, they're ergonomic, and they have that nice little ledge on the end, little tongs that rip onto things. And I always suggest to folks, when you're doing this, to be able to twist as you pull, and that way it helps you remove it a little bit easier. So that's your mixing chamber nib exposed, and then basically when you want to replace a new one. Now, before I do that, I'm going to explain to you that this is how you're going to be refilling your pens. You want to be pulling the bullet nib out of the pen to refill the pen in through here. You don't want to be pulling the brush nib out and replacing the brush nib because it's a little bit more sensitive. So when you're going to be refilling your pens, you're going to be wanting to pull out the bullet nib to refill. And replacing it is just very simple. You're just going to take it and you're going to just push it down and just make sure that that's seated. Now, again, just take a look and make sure that it's seated all the way to the bottom. And if you see these nibs, they kind of have a little bit of a ledge. So you want that ledge to be sitting right down on here. And the reason why is you want to be able to make sure that it meets, and when this pen clicks, it'll meet it and perfectly. It doesn't, if it's not pushed in far enough, it'll shove too far into the mixing chamber nib, and you don't want to do that because you could damage your mixing chamber nib. So if you just want to make sure that it's completely seated, this is a pretty durable nib, so you can really give it a good smush down there. And there you go. Now, once again, you want to recap it, turn it upside down, and let the ink flow back into that, and you'll be good to go.